Alright. I'm gonna start coloring these things right now. And I'm gonna be using this orange color. Orange glitter. Hopefully that'll stand out from the kind of copper color that's next to it. I think it does. I don't want it to stand out too much, because then it might clash. Yeah, I think, oh, that's pretty. I like it. All right. Trying to get less glitter on my hand this time around. This pen seems a little finicky. I think I noticed that while I was swatching it too. Color's not coming out as easy as it should. There it goes, that's better. That's much better. I like the way this looks. I think I would have liked the green as well, but I'm definitely going to be using that green color. Oh yeah, that looks really pretty. It's funny, some of these are little, well, I guess these are skinny and little bigger and skinny bigger, so I guess there's a pattern to it. See those little details that the artist did. They switch it up. I think it'd be really cool to be a coloring book artist and see people coloring the stuff that I've made. I still really want to get that idea for a coloring book off the ground using my photography. I don't know why, but I have like a block of, I let myself procrastinate on stuff like that. I tried a couple different apps that are, turn your picture into a coloring page, but none of them really worked with what I was imagining. And then the AI stuff that I've seen, that is how I want my pictures to look. Grayscale and like a picture. But I've explored, I haven't explored, I just looked at Midjourney, which is, I think, maybe one of the most popular AI tools out there that people are using. And I didn't see an option to be able to upload your own photo. And unfortunately, the AI artists that are, well, I guess, that's some of the controversy is calling them artists. I think anybody that uses any medium or tool to create something is an artist. So it's just, we're all different kinds of artists. But the ones that I have had some personal interaction with, just on Facebook, don't really want to talk about how they get what they get, which I suppose is understandable. There's a lot of competition in the coloring world. We're all just trying to make a little bit of money off something that we love, and little is the key word. I don't know if anybody's getting rich off doing this, but I just want to be able to pay for the supplies that I want, which I'm actually sitting pretty good. I'm really fortunate to have a lot of coloring supplies. I have probably too many. I was trying to factor it out, all the coloring books that I have, and I'm 49 now, and I think I have at least 200 coloring books, at least, and we could say they have an average of 30 pages in them, but most of them have a lot more than that. They have usually about 50 to 100. So that even if I colored a page a day, I wouldn't be able to color all the coloring books that I have. I try to think of that when there's more coloring books that I want. I'm just like, no. It becomes almost an addiction. But I just have to have that one so it can sit on a shelf and I can never color in it. No. Doing this actually is gonna inspire me to color a lot more, and tackle pages that maybe I wouldn't have done on my own. I'm digging this. It kind of looks like a African shield. With this pretty orange color. So maybe we'll go a different direction with this than what I was originally thinking. I suppose if I had picked the red color, then this would have been along the lines of the Mayan calendar. I want to give a shout out to a YouTuber named Dark Desert Highway. He is a truck driver, which I thought about doing, but I can't yet until I have accommodations for my kitty, which isn't going to happen until she's with me until she dies. She is 18 right now, and thank heavens, showing no sign of slowing down, but I wouldn't really want to put her in any kind of position where she couldn't be with me. So truck driving is out of the question until further date. But Dark Desert Highway is his handle here on YouTube. And I met him, not in person, although we almost met up in person once, but we Sawyer, my partner, and I almost met up with him, but I can't remember why it didn't work out. I think he got stuck in ice on the freeway. They shut the freeway down. I think that's when we were in Wyoming, or he was in Wyoming. But anyway, he's given me a lot of support on the channel. He's given us a lot of support over on Sawyer's YouTube channel as well. So I just wanted to give him a shout out and say thank you. He also, his other YouTube handle is The Bride of Christ. He is very inspired to share the Word of God, the Bible, and spread the message of Jesus, which I think is great. I remember when I was trying to be a Christian that I felt that same fire. If you know something and you believe it to be true and it doesn't harm anybody, then it seems like our natural inclination as humans is to share that with everybody, whether it's religion, spirituality, health stuff, anything that we pick up along the way that has been helpful for us, and we want to pass that on to others. One of my favorite jobs was working at Wild Oats, which has since been bought out by Whole Foods. Wild Oats was one of the first natural health food stores back in the 90s. And I worked at the second smallest location of Wild Oats. The first one was Boulder, Colorado, which is where they started. And I worked at the one in Kansas City. We had maybe less than 20-something employees. So it was really small knit little community. And I started out as a cashier. And I just loved it. I loved learning about all the natural food, grown without pesticides, and tofu and different spices. And although I'm not a good cook at all. Well, I'm not a bad cook, but I'm not adventuresome. I just kind of eat what I know I like. But I tried all kinds of stuff, and the thing that really made me really excited was vitamins and herbs and minerals and different plants that can be used for natural healing. And I was a cashier for a little while, and then I transitioned over into the vitamin and herb department and helping people when they came in and needing different remedies for different things. And I just absolutely loved it. I carried that over into working at the Whole Foods in downtown Austin, Texas, over on 6th Street, which was funny, going from such a little tiny store to such a big, huge store. But it was a very rewarding position, rewarding job to have people come in and tell me what they were experiencing and what they'd been using in the past, or if they hadn't, even if they weren't using anything. And there were 2 books that I would refer to. One was called Prescription for Nutritional Healing, or Natural Healing. And I can't remember what the other one is, but it's along the same lines. It's like the Encyclopedia of Natural Healing or something like that. And those were like my Bibles. And we would go to the book and we'd look up their symptoms, and then, the book would recommend certain things, and we'd kind of go through it and you know, and as I kept doing it, I learned a lot, and things that worked for me is what I would recommend to other people. And they would come in quite frequently, you know, and do their shopping as well, but they'd come in and go, gosh, that barley grass powder that you recommended I use to fast was really great. You know, once I got over the taste of it, because it does taste like grass, that it, you know, it curbed their hunger, and it, I mean, basically it's the water that you're drinking, but barley grass happens to have almost everything that you need, nutrition-wise, vitamins, minerals. It's great. I put 3 to 4 little scoops of it every day in the smoothie that we drink, that we consume. And I just love it. It's got vitamin C, it's just got everything that you could need. And so I would recommend that to people, and some people would like it and some people wouldn't, but it was relatively inexpensive as opposed to the other fasts that we had on the shelves there. Because just like in anything else, there's, you know, people want to make money, of course, and there would be, you know, some companies that were just making products that were really not necessary, where you could use one herb to get the same effect. Less is more in that regards. I've heard it said that the body can handle about 5 ingredients at a time. So if you're putting anything more into it than that, it's not going to absorb it. It's just going to eliminate it. I experienced that with a multivitamin that I started taking when I first started doing that kind of stuff. It literally just came out. While I was using the restroom. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do, I've got all those pieces finished. I'm going to go ahead and color that orange color as well. These little, I don't know what they are. There's like all these words going through my head, and none of them were these little corner pieces. There we go. Upper corner pieces. Good, it's all dry, so it's not smearing. But yeah, so the smoothie that Sawyer and I make pretty much every day. Sometimes we skip, but hardly we do not. He cuts up usually 2 pears. We like the red ones, which I can't remember what they're called, and then also Bosch pears, the green ones, but they're kind of a little grainy, so prefer the red ones. 2 pears, sometimes an apricot, a lot of times a plum, and then half of an avocado. If it was up to me, I would use a whole avocado, but he likes to stretch the avocados. And avocados do have a lot of fat in them, so but it makes it so creamy. That really helps with the texture. He cuts all that up, and then I put in Mild C, which I got off Amazon, which is a form of vitamin C. It's not ester C, but it's a form of, I think it's a ascorbic acid vitamin C. Ascorbic acid vitamin C. It doesn't bother my stomach or his. I don't know if I have a problem with that or not, but one needs to be careful with vitamin C supplements. A little spoon of that. It's actually, I think it's a teaspoon of that. And then I put in the 3 scoops of barley grass powder, which is just barley grass. I was using a 3-grain thing, which had alfalfa, wheatgrass, and barley grass, but that's all gone. And so I'm on to the barley grass powder that I had, which I got at Sprouts, I think. No, Whole Foods. I got it at Whole Foods. And then I do a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And then I do a scoop of Vegeprotein powder. Since we don't eat meat, we gotta get our protein somehow. I do this, and it makes it taste pretty yummy too. And then I do maybe like 2 tablespoons. I just use a spoon, a heaping spoon of plain Greek yogurt. It doesn't have any sugar added to it. And then I do a heaping spoon of sunflower seed nut butter. We were using almond butter, but Sawyer has a slight allergy to it, so we stopped using that. And then we have frozen strawberries, frozen blueberries, and we freeze bananas. And all that gets put in there, and then I put maybe less than a cup of water, maybe 16 ounces of water, and blend that all together. Oh, and the most important thing is I put 20 drops of grapefruit seed extract, GSE, grapefruit seed extract, yeah. So it's the oil from the seeds that are in grapefruit, and it's got amazing antifungal, antibacterial, anti-anything properties. It's a natural antibiotic, and it is wonderful, but it is heavy on the vitamin C. Heavy on the vitamin C. If you have any problems with vitamin C, stay far away from this stuff. It'll make your stomach bleed. If you have any sensitivity to vitamin C. I used to give it to my daughter, so it's not like some crazy toxic thing or whatever. It's just you have to be careful. I used to recommend it to people left and right at Whole Foods, and everybody loved it. And one day a girl came in and told me that she ended up having to go to the hospital because her stomach was bleeding internally because of this grapefruit seed oil, because she was allergic to citrus. And that was a wake-up call for me to be careful when helping people and giving them, suggestions, because you never know what people are allergic to, and you're not a doctor in that situation. So I apologize profusely, of course, but Sawyer doesn't have a problem with it either. I discovered it when I had tonsillitis. I still have my tonsils, and I swear every year around Halloween I would get tonsillitis, and it was just horrible. One time I ended up in the hospital, and it was just, it was bad news. And I don't have health insurance. I can't afford it. It seems like I've never had it, except for the few times that I was on government assistance, food stamps, and medical with my daughter. But I couldn't afford to go to a doctor to get antibiotics prescribed to me. So I used the grapefruit seed, and it knocked it out. It was wonderful. Now I am done with that part, so I'm just looking at maybe what else I would want to color this orange color. I'm thinking I want to do these loops. I don't know though. Thinking about maybe these loops and then these loops in here with this orange color. What do you guys think? You think that's good? I like the way it looks right now. I'm going to make sure it's dry before I start doing that. Probably maybe wait for a minute to let it dry, and then I'll go ahead and zoom out so we can see what we're looking like here. So I see that I am at about 30, a little over 30 minutes, so we'll go ahead and leave it for now. I do want to move that and then go ahead and get out this green color, because I know I'm going to want to use that. I know I like that green color. That's along row 1. It's actually this one right here, it looks like. Whoops. Let me test it to make sure that it's the right color. Yeah, that looks good. That's row 1. So that's going to be the color we're going with next on a little accents there. Thank y'all for joining me. And here is where we're at right now. And I will see you guys in the next video.